What's up guys, it's your favorite Kiwicoach and welcome to this video on anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. Let's go do this thing.
Meet the sunrise.
Alright guys, welcome back to Mike's OG Academy. If you guys are new to this channel, we do a lot of videos on golf instruction. Everything that you guys need to know to get better at your guys' golf games, we got it covered here. We also do golf course vlogs, interviews, and a bunch of other stuff. So if you guys are interested in any of that, go ahead and hit that little red subscribe button. All right guys, so for today's video, we're gonna be talking about anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. What are some definitions? What is it actually doing? And then how can we implement these things into our golf swing? So let's get into anterior pelvic tilt first. All right guys, so I got an alignment stick here that's gonna represent what the pelvis is doing, just so you guys can kind of get a grasp of it. So anterior pelvic tilt, simply put, is the pelvis tilting downwards on the front end, okay? So it's gonna look like this. So when I get into my golf setup, we can notice that this alignment stick is not level right here, correct? It's slightly tilting down. So that means that at setup, the majority of players are gonna be in anterior pelvic tilt. Now, where else can we use this throughout the golf swing and how's this gonna help us? Well, I would say in transition is a great place to get a little bit of start for this. So as we get up to the top of our swing, you're gonna see a lot of players in transition start getting the anterior pelvic tilt move. So it's gonna look like this. Notice how my pelvis is now tilted downward, okay? Now the reason why we like the pelvis tilting downward, coupled in with a couple other things which we won't get to in this video, it basically just allows the mid-spine or the thoracic to be able to rotate, okay? So it's definitely a very important move, and it's what all the modern golf swings are doing now. Also some of the old golf swings as well. So now let's get into posterior pelvic tilt and explain how we can use that throughout the golf swing as well as what it actually means. So posterior pelvic tilt, guys, just like it is in the name, is the pelvis tilting downwards, but from the back end, okay? So let me kind of show you an example of that. So I typically see posterior pelvic tilt pretty much in the follow-through area, and let's kind of explain what I mean. So as we get up to the top of our swing, we're getting into anterior pelvic tilt, we're starting to rotate and open up. Pretty much right once we get to this P8 position, which is when the hands are level with the hips on the follow-through, we're gonna start seeing a slight bit of posterior pelvic tilt. So it's gonna look like this, and then we start getting a little bit this way. Notice how, I'll do it from this view, it's maybe a little bit easier for you guys to see. Notice how from here, we're seeing that this alignment stick is tilting down slightly, okay? So that would be one and probably the only place in the golf swing where I start seeing a little bit of posterior pelvic tilt. Now there are some people out there saying currently right now that we would like to see that in setup. I agree to that to a certain extent. Let me kind of explain what I mean. So if we get this at setup, or i.e. posterior pelvic tilt's getting the butt sucking underneath you a little bit, notice how that gets this alignment stick fairly level at this point. Now the issue I have with that is when players get posterior pelvic tilt with setup and they try to rotate, it's very hard for them to do, okay? We actually have to go back into anterior pelvic tilt to be able to get our thoracic to be able to rotate in the backswing, okay? So let me kind of show you what I mean. So if you want to get into posterior pelvic tilt, you've been told that, that's totally fine. But what you're gonna see yourself do is in the backswing, you're gonna have to go out of it. Notice how that alignment stick now is starting to shift downwards on the front end, okay? So hopefully that gave you guys some information about anterior pelvic tilt and posterior pelvic tilt. If you guys haven't already, feel free to smash the like button, give me a comment, let me know what you guys want to see next with these videos. And as always guys, hit that red subscribe button. All right guys, see you next video.